Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question. And that is how to really listen to and acknowledge, quote unquote, your inner voice, your internal guiding system when you're emerging from a manipulative, toxic relationship, something that has gotten you really unsettled, something that's gotten you very unhappy, and you're having a difficulty sorting through it out and kind of moving forward. So that's a great viewer question, and we're going to zoom in and focus in on that. One of the problems with partaking in a relationship with someone who is extremely controlling, someone who is manipulative, someone who is malignant, narcissistic perhaps, or psychopathic. They will make demands and sort of push you in directions which are not in your best interest, which are counterintuitive, counterproductive for you to take place in. However, there's a certain pressure that comes from a narcissist. There's also a specific pressure that comes from a psychopath, someone who is sort of trying to manipulate and kind of move you like a pawn or a chess piece on a chess game. They're trying to position you. They're trying to pull you. They're trying to push you. They're trying to get you to get into situations or contact get-togethers that are not conducive to your own wellness, i.e., they start to violate your boundaries and standards and thus violate your inner voice, and also sort of quench it or extinguish it, meaning put it out. In other words, the real you that needs to say no, the real you that needs to conduct yourself in healthier manners, healthier relationships, things that are respect-based, health-based, and help you to detox. Something that is help. When we say detox, basically it is to be in a way that you can hear your inner voice. In other words, some people have been so entrenched in these relationships, not only that they can't hear that inner voice, they can't hear kind of their higher consciousness, their higher self, what Freud might call the superego. That one is, which is, you might also call the voice of reason, that is truly the voice that speaks up and says, you know what? Don't turn left here, turn right. Don't do this. That voice which is saying, I need to. In other words, I need to study. I need to relax. I need a better relationship. I need to be treated better. This isn't my scene. This isn't the real me. This is not my element. I think something fishy is going on here, and it really doesn't seem like it's going to go well, but maybe I should save face. Maybe I should people please. Maybe I should take the toxic individual's request as above and beyond my own, and maybe I should listen to them in order to sort of placate them or appease them or acquiesce to their demands to look good. So this is part of the really sort of evolution and what the soundtrack looks like to your inner voice. Your inner voice, your higher consciousness, your gut instincts know what is best for you. It's like your own internal GPS that you have been equipped with by the higher power, by the divine, by the creator, whatever you want to call it or name it. It is yours. It's running within you. So it's not out there. It is in here. So it's, when we talk about listening to your inner voice, you might actually hear it when you are in connection with the narcissist. In other words, why don't you do this? The inner, part of you hesitates and really, so how can you recognize your inner voice? Your inner voice will cause you to a hesitation when you've sort of told your inner voice, hey, you know, I really want to listen to my heart. I need to learn how to pay attention and recover and retrieve that inner voice that is best for me, that's really getting me to go on what I call positive orderly direction, thinking, behaving, feeling, and deciding. So the you that knows what's best for you, but that is the voice oftentimes which has been crushed, you know, just annihilated and extinguished. You have, as we're referring to in other videos, it has been, you've overridden that inner voice in order to pay attention to that external locus of control, which oftentimes is toxic. So we talk about the internal locus of control, which means you are in control. And then we talk about an external locus of control, something that is outside of you, a person, something, you know, of that nature, who is trying to manipulate, cajole, push you, pressure you, override what I call your boundaries and your standards, and gets you and basically grooms you to be their supply source. In other words, they are the master of you. You've given up your power. You've given up to them. This is a horrible place, painful place, not meaning judgment-wise, but it's a very painful place to even get to the point where it takes a lot of work to even get to the point where you can begin to listen to that inner voice. So what are the steps? What are the sort of, you know, tingly sensations? How do you get to recognize and heed the call of that, so you can begin to truly trust yourself? Being able to say, you know what, I got you, I hear you, you know, I'm heeding you now. So it is that little voice oftentimes which you have not been able to recognize, abide by, and put on the front burner when you've been in a relationship. So what are some of the steps? Because that really is truly important to know that you've got it within you, and that it's like you're not alone. You know, you are not going crazy. You're not making things up. You know what is best for you. You know what discipline is. You know where health is. You're beginning to get an image of it. Yet this individual wants to darken out or annihilate that image of you, which is in your best interest, and keep you from walking along that path. Because if you do, you might, you know, come out to be a shining example, talented, self-reliant, have self-esteem, and not be there for them. So the narcissist always wants to keep you at arm's length or foot's length so that they can just basically go, you know what, I'm in control here. You know, I'm going to show you how right I am, that I'm like your higher, you know, I'm like your super ego. In other words, you begin to conform to their standards rather than listen to what is best for you and your true standards. So you override them for you. So you don't want to make that mistake. Even if you have, it's okay to say, you know what, now I'm going to undo this mistake. I'm going to untangle this mess. I'm going to untangle this trauma bond, and I'm going to get to that little place where it's connected, and I'm going to break it free. So it's no longer sort of causing me to, you know, stoop down, feel less than, and oftentimes make some very grave health mistakes. In other words, put yourself in danger. Put yourself in a position where you might lose a job, lose your health, break a rib, you know, get messed up, get addicted to drugs, get addicted to alcohol, get addicted to, you know, misery, get addicted to feeling down, get addicted to unhealthy thought patterns, unhealthy feel patterns, unhealthy eating patterns, things that eventually choke you up emotionally so you feel stuck. So to get attention to that middle, you know, that small voice, you need to know that it's there. You need to understand, to be able to acknowledge and validate it. You need to, you know, you need to be able to develop a relationship and internal dialogue with yourself, which oftentimes the narcissist will not support, they will negate. The narcissist will not support, they will negate. They'll begin to, no, they'll begin to have you mistake their voice for your own. In other words, it becomes their voice, their needs become so internalized that you become codependent. You then, codependent or enabler means when you take on another's needs for your own and you negate or sacrifice or sort of, give up, hollow out, and don't attend to or listen to your own for them because they become more important than you. You have to know that you are the most important person in the equation. If you have not lived that reality, that means you haven't really experienced self-esteem. Self-esteem feels like listening to that inner voice. Self-esteem means letting go of them. In other words, letting them go, letting them ride off in the distance on, a black stallion. It means letting them, trot off on that whatever horse it is that they're riding, that car that they're driving. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Go ahead, sail off into the sunset, drive off into the fields, become like a nomad, go ride your camel. Adios, baby. Goodbye. So letting them go feels like that. You're letting them go. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're not trying to control them or try to control outcomes. You're not seeing if they're good, bad, indifferent, how they're doing. That you have to let the toxic manipulator go and not stay. Especially as time goes on, you will know this is the right decision if you find yourself in more destructive situations. You're hurting yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not reading. You're not doing the recovery journal. You're not doing the recovery date. You're eating horribly. You're getting sick. You're starting to drink. You're starting to drug. You're starting to gamble. Whatever your vices, you find that you are engaging in that. And furthermore, you really know because those behaviors no longer work as coping mechanisms. You go, you know what? Eating all these donuts or sugary things is making me sick. I literally feel sick. Or drinking to this excess is making me feel sick. Stressing to excess is making me feel sick. You'll know you've kind of hit that barrier. And so you need to understand that you need to detox. And to detox, you need to unequivocally get into a mindfulness meditation practice or a physical exercise practice, going to the gym, getting a workout, going for a walk, deep breathing. Mindfulness means meditation, sitting quietly with yourself, just in a peaceful, comforting, natural space. Take time to slow down and engage in that, even no matter what your religion. Oh, my religion doesn't say, meditate. That could be for the yogis, the swamis, the Buddhists. That sounds scary to me, or that sounds too Eastern or whatever. I challenge you to try it for 30 days. Try in all this together, the recovery journal, writing out 3 pages longhand, or if you're spacing it, 6 pages, the first thing in the morning. So you're getting all that stuff out. Okay. And also engaging in the recovery, because when you do that, you're beginning to flush out what your true feelings are, and you're getting them on paper so you can see some things about yourself. You'll begin to be able to hear and recognize and acknowledge and validate something that's going on within you. In other words, when you do the writing, you might say, I feel so sick, I'm so tired, I need better sleep, I need to get a job, I need to sleep more, I need to eat better, I need to take time to rest, I want to watch TV, I want to listen to podcasts, videos. So when you write that out, you begin to hear yourself, not only as a catharsis exercise, but you need to be able to hear what that voice is saying. In other words, eventually you will meet that internal self. you'll hear yourself. I want to take time to go walking. I want to go on a walk with my earbuds. I want to, engage in some, self healing exercises. And for those of you, this is a real quick comment here. For those of you, especially the females, this is for the ladies, this is for the girls. If you are interested in a great sort of gift box set that I'm aware of with a wonderful company that can send you kind of like a gift package, a little box that has all sorts of like little healing goodies in it. It's a subscription service. If you are interested in that, it's very reasonably priced and it really does speak to all the senses to help you engage in that. Please email me at peaceandharmonynow@gmail.com and I will send you the link to be able to, so you can sign yourself up. It's a wonderful, wonderful toolkit with all sorts of wonderful goody things. And if you email me, you can kind of see what it's about. So it's really fun. So just email me at peaceandharmonynow@gmail.com and I'll send you the link so you can sign up. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, so these tools, I'm going on the recovery date. So once a week, taking your whole healed self out so you can begin to be there for yourself in a way that a toxic individual cannot. Also, being able to give yourself a recovery gift, give yourself items that remind you to stay the course. It's kind of like, the Alcoholics Anonymous. I think they give you like chips for every 30 days. It's kind of a similar reward system where you begin to really sort of give yourself the chips of health and emotional sobriety, detoxing from some manipulative relationships where people are trying to pull one over on you, get the best of you. They've cheated on you. We've got viewers here who have been married, 4 or 5 years. They find out someone has cheated on them, their wife. I mean, this is difficult stuff. You can blow an emotional gasket when these types of things happen. It's very painful. You need to have some tools to get it together, to get your what together. So do mindfulness meditation. Listen to some guided meditations here on YouTube. I've done some before. Viewers have asked me, to create these. Yes, I can do those. There's also some other wonderful ones here, guided meditation here on YouTube. I think it should be kind of a personal choice if you want to do that. Pick out one with the music or the voice or, the time length, whether you want it for 15 minutes, whether you want it for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, begin to practice that, especially when one's talking about cleansing your DNA, reenacting your DNA. These are at the quantum level of healing. They get you into that delta, that slower beta brainwave, and you get to practice those slower brainwaves. You get a chance to, work on developing that experience for yourself. Those are extremely healing, and I would highly recommend you engage in DNA reactivation guided videos. So search those terms here on YouTube. If you really want, I can put some links, but I think it's important for you all to have some skin in the game and do these things and research them for yourself so that you can be empowered. You can be like, I did it, Peace and Harmony recommended it, but I put the right touches on it specifically for myself. So there you go. And then playing this other sort of healing music in your environment, resensitizing yourself. In other words, beginning to give yourself and all of your senses healing information, eating foods with healing information, the veggies, the fresh veggies, the fruits, the things that people never seem to buy anymore because all they want is convenience, or they want a Starbucks, or they want some Frappuccino, and you're not eating healthfully. You're drinking pop or things that is not good or conducive to health or your internal organs, So look at some of the detox, the herbal teas with a wonderful, rose petals or lavender or chamomile or dandelion or any of those other wonderful, and some of them very lovely, gorgeous, and exotic teas. I have one called Love, Love, and it creates a beautiful red kind of rose color hued tea. And it's wonderful when you put it in with creamer, your favorite sweetened creamer, and you put this tea on. It is absolutely gorgeous. You can just take a couple tea bags, put it in your regular coffee pot with a filter, and brew yourself a nice pot of tea. And, you know, put that with some creamer. It's very detoxing, especially for this, resensitizing the sense of taste. And you need to kind of detox. It'll help you furthermore to detox your vocabulary and especially your self-talk, which needs to get cleared up. And then the mindfulness meditation will help you to hear and heed that inner voice. So to hear that inner voice, if you find yourself hesitating, if, you know, either the narcissist invites you out, they hover you, or you get this sort of rumination, maybe I should call them and fight, you know, these are the sort of, you know, voices which you need to begin to pay attention to. Particularly, you can recognize it when they hesitate and it says, you know what, no, I really need to. That is your inner voice, okay? Your inner voice is like your savior, okay? It will save you. It'll give you saving graces. So when that little voice goes, you know what, no, you really need to stay home today and you need to relax. You need to conserve your energy. And then, you know, that's your truth. But then the other part, you know, the ego, the one that's a people pleaser, the one that wants to save face, goes, no, you know, why don't you go ahead and allow them to push you? Maybe that is the right thing to do. You know, maybe I should let them push me around. Maybe I should give in. Maybe I should say they are right. If you do that and you find yourself paying the price emotionally, you get into a fight, you start picking at each other, you start getting into a yelling match, you start to go off in a fit of rage, you're driving crazy, you're yelling crazy, it's getting ugly. You know, you stub your toe, you know, you'll know what it is. That your body is your subconscious mind. Your body is trying to scream out to you. And you better heed it before the internal voice is like a big yell or a big boom. You know, you end up smashing your car, you end up breaking your fist, you end up breaking your ankle. You end up doing something severe, costly, and not only emotionally painful, but physically painful. So, you know, you can start to, once you start to see this, especially those physical symptoms, you know, eventually it will get your attention and make you, it'll get things really worse. You'll get extremely sick and you need to pay attention. So, this is kind of the reality and how important it is for you to pay attention and embrace your inner light. That is self-esteem, trying to beckon to you and herald you to the next level. And oftentimes that is facing a fear, which oftentimes is being alone, which is not a bad thing. Being on your own, being independent, being away from them can be your greatest strengthening decision and give you the clarity, the happiness, and the balance, and the security and safety, and the love and respect that you've been looking for all the while. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. You can do this. You've got this. Pay attention to that inner voice. Please share. Please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.